Okay, let's start on our back with the block. Okay, so place the block under your sacrum, which is the flat part of your butt. And you can go on the maybe second level, or you can go on the third level. Maybe just start with the second level. Let the left leg extend and the right knee come towards your shoulder. And then you can interlock your finger on the front of your knee. And then just take a few moments here to breathe. So every time that you inhale, you want to imagine your rib cage expanding so that you can hold more air in your lungs. So expanding your rib cage on the inhale. And then actually pushing the air out as you exhale. So feeling that engagement in your waist. So your navel moves towards your spine every time you exhale. And while we're holding this pose, it's a gradual, continual pulling in of your knee towards your shoulder. The area on the front of your right hip closes in, getting closer to your rib cage. And that opposite left leg stays on the ground. So you want to feel the back of your left leg get heavy. And even straightening your left leg bit by bit. Then you can add on and you can extend and lift up your right leg, right heel to the sky. And let your hands move to the back of your knee and just bring your leg closer. Closer. And on your next exhale, let the right leg come down and switch to the other side. So the right leg down and left knee comes in. And so creating space on the front of your hip. Pulling your left knee in towards your shoulder. And just becoming mindful of the back of the right leg. So that you're not twisting and leaning over more to the left. Keep the back of the right leg heavy. And just allow your attention to hone in on your breath, the quality of your breath. In this practice, we are going to level out the inhale and exhale, so meaning you inhale as long as you exhale. And inhaling and exhaling through the nose as much and as consistently as possible. Nasal breathing. And it's just this continual guiding in and closing down of that space on the front of the left hip. So getting closer towards your rib cage without twisting, without turning. Feeling the back of your shoulder blades also on the ground so that they're even as you maintain a steady breath. You could extend and the left leg now up towards the sky And your hands move to the back of the leg as you just bring it in a little deeper. Maintain the connection with the front of the right leg. And that's really, truly what this is all about. It's really focusing on lengthening the front of the hip flexor muscles. Take just 2 more breaths here. And then bringing your left leg to the ground. So you're going to bend your knee, put your foot on the floor, and also your right foot on the floor too. So setting up for bridge, lift your hips off your block. Put your block beside you. So as you hold bridge, you're going to walk your shoulder blades a little closer together. Take your hands underneath of you, even interlock your fingers. And see if you can push down on your arms as your hips lift. Now think about the top of your thighs pushing forward towards your toes. And then push on all 4 corners of your feet. Big toe, pinky toe, both sides of your heels, left and right. Your knees stay level, hip distance width apart, and just continue lifting your hips up towards the sky. Then you can release your hand grip, keep your hips high, and let your arms go long or wide to the sides, and like you're going to do a snow angel. Let your arms go wide, circling up and over your head. All the way up, and then again all the way down. Do this a few times as you keep your hips up. And so just feeling into some shoulder rotation now. How's that feeling as you keep your hips up? So we're going to continue this movement of your arms with the backs of your hands on the ground, coming up and down. And we'll add some hip movement. So as you inhale, you're going to drop your tailbone towards the floor. And then as you exhale, lift your tailbone up towards the sky. So slight hip movement here. At the same time, it's like tapping your head and rubbing your belly. The arms are going to keep going up and down. And then sync the movement to your breath. Keep going. And you don't want to ever let your hips actually rest on the ground. It's just going to tap and touch the floor, so it's not resting ever for your hips. Now, as your hands come back down towards your hips, you're going to turn so that the palms are facing down. With your thumbs pointing towards each other, you're going to see how high you can lift your arms. And then back with your hands by your hips. And just keep going like this. Up and down, seeing how high your arms can go whilst your palms still face down. The entire palm, thumbs, pinky fingers. Every time you inhale, the hips drop, and every time you exhale, the hips lift. A couple more times, cycles. Keep your knees from going wider than your hips width apart. And then lift your hips up. Keep your hips lifted. Start to walk your feet towards each other. Keep your hips up. And now bend your elbows so that your arms, the back of your arms, triceps push down. That's going to help you. And then lift your right leg up towards the sky. Now as you exhale, drop your hips to the floor. And as you inhale, push your toes up 4 more times. Exhale to lower. And inhale to push up. And 2 more. Keep pushing on the backs of your arms, the backs of your elbows. Last one to go up. And then change your legs so the right, wow, that's a loud plane. The right foot goes down and the left leg up. Point your toe lift and then lower the hips. Pushing up and lowering down. 3 more times. Pushing onto your elbows. And last time to lift up. Keep your hips up. Put your foot back down. Bridge. 1 more time. You'll love bridge after this. Okay, bring your hands now underneath of your low back and see if you can almost like support your hips or your low back getting a little bit higher. A little bit more of an arch. Lift, lift, lift. Notice the width of your feet. See if your toes can continue to point forward. And then see if your chest can lift up towards your chin, highest point there. And release that down. All right. From here, let your feet go wide, let your knees fall to the right, and then let your knees fall to the left. And just 1 more time to the right and to the left, and then you're going to bring your knees in towards your chest. So hug your knees, and now we're going to start to rock and roll forward and back. So come all the way up, so your feet are on the floor, and you're going to work on keeping your chin in as you roll back and forth. And so think about massaging the muscles along your spine, going all the way back so that your toes even touch over your head. A couple more times. Now the next time that you come up onto your feet, you're going to let your feet hover and hold the backs of your knees or thighs so you arrive in boat pose. From here, you can start to lift your feet up. Keep your feet together, knees together, keep your spine straight. You can stay holding the backs of your legs. So as much as you can, keep your thighs close to your belly as you do this, and then keep your chest lifted. Find your fullest expression as you lift up. And then as you come down, just cross the legs. Hold your feet, bring them in, and come back into a downward facing dog right away, downward dog. And drop your head. Bend your knees and shift your hips to the right and to the left. And on your next inhalation, the right leg is going to lift. When you exhale, knee to your nose and pause. Inhale to lift the leg, back and up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring the back body forward slightly. And then inhale and go back up. Do that 3 more times. Exhale to bring it forward. And inhale. And really noticing the pause. So it's like squeezing. Stop. And then 1 more time, knee to nose before you step the foot forward. Okay, and then your back knee will gently lower down. This is where you can have your block. Okay, place your block in your right hand with your thumb pointing forward, left arm is going to come over. And then tuck your back toes under and really light on your block so you're hardly like resting there. And you can push the block a bit further away. Yeah, nice. Take your left shoulder back. Look up, take a big breath in. Now on your exhalation, you're going to lift your back knee and take your block in hand inside the right foot. And your back foot connects to the ground. So get to know this transition because we're going to keep going from pose to pose here, okay? And then extend the arm in front of you, in front of your body, and long. So we extend the left side body, and on your exhalation, you lift your back heel, drop the knee, and go back over. Inhale, and then next exhalation, go back into that side long angle, triangle variation. And then the exhales back into dropping the knee. Inhale the arm over. Let's just keep going, cycling at your own pace. Exhale to go over with the knee dropping. The exhales are for the transition. And the inhale is for going into the extension. Take nice long breaths here. Back where we started in this extension. And then you're going to come forward with the left hand under shoulder. Put your block in front of you and lift your back knee as you twist. Look up to your right hand, lifting up towards the sky. And on your exhalation, a downward facing dog. As you come forward to high plank, drop your knees to the floor. Let your chin drop, your hips stay up, and elbows brush your ribs. Chin drop. And then as you inhale, your pelvis drops, and you come into cobra, so elbows stay bent. And back, transitioning to a downward facing dog. Keep your low back long, spacious. Okay, let's do the other side. Lift up your left leg, inhale, and as you exhale, bring your knee forward to your nose. Inhale to lift it up. Taking your time, slow and steady, and enjoying the pause. Squeezing in. 2 more. One more. And then just pause and step. Drop your back knee. Back knee on the floor, left hand on your block, thumb pointing forward. So you want to keep your shoulder open as you do this. And as the right arm comes up and over. Your back toes on the floor. Imagine guiding your left or your tailbone towards your left heel. Stretch up and over through this side. Okay, and then we start the transition. So block in left hand, exhale, plant the back heel down, and the block, right arm up. Bring your arm across in front of you as you inhale, reach that arm long. And then as you exhale, coming back to that extension. Take an inhale. Exhale, transition. Extend long. And into that side. Remember, the exhalations are for transitioning. Nice and slow and steady. Be mindful of your hips as you move and your breath, of course. This is the last cycle. Coming back to where you started. Reaching long. And then place your right hand below your shoulder. Put your block in front of you. Lift your back knee and twist. Left arm up, look up to that hand. So the right hand down. And lift your back heel. Take a breath in. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank, and as you exhale, knee and chin drop. And then as you inhale, the belly comes down, or pelvis down. Elbows are bent. Cobra. And back into a downward facing dog. Okay, lift up your right leg, and as you exhale, the right foot is coming on the outside of your right hand. And you're going to drop the pelvis and lift your chest. And then exhale, so your back knee stays lifted. And then exhale back into a downward dog. Left leg up, inhale. And exhale, big step. Inhale to lift your chest. And exhale back into a downward facing dog. Let's make the circle around. So lift your right leg up and then circle that leg wide to the right and step it forward. Inhale, chest up, and then circle the leg wide to the right and back. Left leg up. Circle to the left and step. Inhale, chest up. And big circle back. Let's do one more cycle. This is all about circling the leg wide and forward, chest up. And then wide and back. Last one on the left side. Circle, circle. And big circle back. Good. Come forward to high plank. And as you exhale, knees and chin come down. Inhale, pelvis drops as your chest lifts. And back into a downward facing dog. Lift up your right leg and step it forward into warrior one. Back heel connects your arms. Come up. Take your left hand around your back, and you can even sort of get your hand as close to the front of the right hip as possible, and then taking your right arm up. Bend at the right elbow, and it's like you're going to kind of like cradle your head with your right arm. Yeah, so you want to bring your hand as close to the hip as you can, yeah. But left hip comes more forward. More forward, more forward. Maybe even step forward a little. Bend into the right knee so it's not all about the back leg, but really utilize the stretch for the back, entire back leg. Can you lift your chest a little higher? Can you soften your shoulders? Is it possible to move your gaze up? And then we're going to keep your whole body as it is. All you're going to do is change your hands. So bring your left hand higher and your right fingers to hook on so that possibly you can now hold your fingers. And then notice if you're flaring your ribs forward. Good. Left hip forward, right hip back. Keep lifting your chest. Eventually your head goes back, but keep the left shoulder forward. And same with your hip and the right shoulder back. Take a breath here. And on your exhalation, you're going to release your arm grip, hand grip, arms up, shake your arms, and then hands come down in front of you, in front of your foot. Okay, so next inhale, left leg up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to crunch and curl in knee to knee and squeeze. So take your hands now on top, like kind of cradling your back shin, and then tuck in and curl chin or forehead to your right knee, and hold for 3, for 2, 1. Then you're going to open it up. Take your hand on your block, both hands on the block, maybe supported airplane. So roll your left hip down. Really feel like the inside of your back leg, like your thigh, wants to lift up towards the sky. And then can you make your low back longer? Look forward in front of your block. And just hardly hold your hands on the block or extend your arms out to the sides and breathe. Keep your low back long, your left leg engaged, and hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Take your feet together and just fold forward. Take an inhale, find a halfway lift. Lengthen your spine really long. And exhale, fold, 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 fold. And take an inhale, halfway lift again. So push your shins away and lengthen your low back. And then fold as you release your breath. Let's do that one more time. Long as can be. Tailbone back, crown of your head forward. And then exhale and fold. Halfway lift, and just either step or hop your feet back to plank. And as you exhale, knee and chin down. Inhale, pelvis down, and your chest up, elbows are bent and close to the body. And then back into downward facing dog. All right, lift your left leg up and take a step forward into warrior 1. Arms come up. Warrior 1. Take your right hand around your back and hooking it as close to your right hip. Then ask your right hip to come forward. Sorry, hooking it to your left hip. Right hip forward, left hip back. All right, left arm up. Now you can bend this elbow and place your hand behind your head. Now, as you make this retreat going back with your shoulders, keep your chest lifted. The bend of your left knee is still there, and it's a constant asking the right hip forward to stay forward and the left hip back. And we slightly start to adjust by lifting your right fingers up and possibly letting your fingers come together. Creating a grip on this side if it's possible for the shoulders. Breathing. Now just noticing if you're just leaning back. Continue to lift up first and then shoulders down as you move into this supported position. Straighten your back leg. Can you lift the arch of your back foot? And keep your left knee bent. Breathing here. Holding steady. 4, 3, 2, And then as you come up, release your hand grip and shake it out. Exhale your hands in front of your foot. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, right knee to the back of your left knee and bend. Squeeze and bring your hands to the front of your shin. Start to tuck and curl in as you keep yourself really tight here, forehead to knee, if it's possible. And breathe. Hold here. 4, 3, 4, 2. And then on 1, straighten that right leg out. Bring your hands on your block and find a supported airplane. Roll the right hip down so that you're really feeling the hips level out. As you do that, push back through the right heel and lengthen your low back. So feel that lengthening. That cinching in around your waist, getting longer in your side body even. And just find a steady breath. Finding all 4 corners of your standing foot and extend your arms out without anything changing. And if things really change, go back to your hands on your block. Keep the hips level and your breath steady. And just hold here. Stay for 3, for 2. And then on 1, step your right foot wide on the side of your mat, forward, and your other foot wide. Squat down. So get right down. Bring your hands towards your heart. Let your hips come down, down, down. Yeah. So your hands can be in prayer as you lean your shoulders back. Can you get a little taller, a little longer in your spine? If you need to sit down to make this transition easier, then do that. Otherwise, you walk your hands back like a crab, crawl back. Your fingers are pointing towards your heels in a reverse tabletop. So let your hips lift as high as your shoulders. And then bring your knees away from your hips. Knees stay hip distance apart. Then just puff up your chest as you do this. Maybe even drop your head back. Breathe. Now your gaze is going to turn to the left, and this left hand, you're going to turn it so that it's pointing fingers away from you now. Okay, start to lift your hips up and lift your right arm as you straighten your left leg. So we're in wild thing now. The right knee is bent, and you can hover your toes even off the ground. At a hover, quite possibly, and breathe. Stay for 3, 4, 2, look down at your left hand and transition slowly into a 3-pointed dog pose. So now you're facing the back of your mat, 3-pointed dog, right leg up. As you exhale, bring your knee across to your left elbow and then kick your leg to the left side. Find the instep of your back foot into wild thing. Sorry, rock star, wild thing. Left arm up. Bend into your left knee, left fingers reach for your right big toe, and just put your foot on top of your knee. I find this a really nice stretch for the side body, so you can drop your hips down and then sort of like create space under your right armpit at the same time. And then just let your hips come right down and turn yourself forward so that you have the right ankle above your knee. And then just rock your hips from side to side. Sitting up tall. Keep your spine really straight and bring your foot, so left leg out, and then bring your foot to the ground. Hug your knee in with your left arm and just turn and twist to the right. Okay. Now, as you turn to the left, you're going to put pressure on your right foot. And you're going to lift up. Take your block now so that it's in front of your right toes. Your left leg is lifted. Okay, so from here, we're going to play with this left hip a little bit. So you want to be supporting your, so you're facing the right long edge of your mat. Okay, we're actually going to start with your, let's just start with your both feet together and your right hand on your block in front of your toes under your heart. Okay, take your fingers around your left big toe and just think about like a clock that's going to tick over to the left, and then it's going to come back to center, over to the left, back to center. Keep doing this, quite possibly going a little higher each time. 3 more times. A little higher. A little higher. Last time, go all the way. And then let's turn this into a half moon. So bring that foot behind you. The block still is in front of your toes. And as that foot is behind you, you're going to lift your hip, lift your shoulder, and take your left hand around your back. Hook your hand in the front of your right thigh, around your hip. And then look at your left toes. See them, at least in the peripheral. And if you can take your right hand onto your right thigh, almost like you want to smooth out the crease on the hip there. Get higher with the foot, maybe another inch, and hold for 3, for 2. And now slowly bringing your feet together, bending your knees, lifting your heels, and sinking your hips down. Okay, from here, bring your hands to your heart, lengthen your spine, turn to the right, a twist, and back to center, turn to the left, a twist. Turn to the right. Try and keep your hips and knees level. So you're really not going to probably twist too much. And you want to, as you twist from side to side, you want to be using your muscles to twist you. You see, we're not like using our arms. We're using our core muscles to actually do the twist. And if your hips and knees move, you're relying on your hips to also add to this. So keep your knees together. And you can really kind of almost like pull with the muscles in your back to bring you that direction. Now the next time that you turn to the right, you're going to bring your hands to the floor. And you're going to, maybe you need to move your feet a little bit. So now you're going to turn and lean, lean, lean. And just feel it. There's no rush to go anywhere, to do anything crazy. So your hands can go down. And if your hands touch the floor, it's possible that you're ready to go further. You can even bend your right elbow and let your hip drop down into your elbow. And then possibly lift your feet up. Feel it. Bring your feet back down. Turn your toes forward. And your feet are going to go wide. And back into the squat. Let your hips go up and down a few times. And we're going to do a vinyasa here. So from here you can go into crow or crane. So knees to the backs of your arms for a moment before you maybe step back for plank, and then knees down, chin down. Inhale, pelvis drops, chest up and back into downward dog. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let your knees bend a lot. Hop or step forward. Take an inhale to halfway lift. As you exhale, start to wiggle your feet wide and go down into the squat, Malasana. We crab crawl backwards with our hands into reverse tabletop. Maybe even letting your head drop. Puff up your chest. Pressing your knees away from your hips. Find steadiness. For 3. For 2. And then look to your right hand. Turn that hand so the fingers are away, and then straighten your right leg. Wild thing. Left arm up. Left toes can hover off the ground. And then as you exhale, looking at the right hand, slowly transition to a 3-pointed dog so the left leg is lifted. Take an inhale. Knee across to your right elbow. And kick your foot way off to the right. Find the instep of your back foot and lift your right arm up. Now as you exhale, bend your right knee. Take your right fingers around your big toe. Place that foot on top of your bent right knee. And then start to lengthen your left side. You can lower your hip down. Find the sweet spot. And then on your next exhale, lower the hips right down and place your right foot on the ground. So just stretching your hips now. And then let your right leg straighten and your left leg goes over. Give yourself a twist here. Hug the knee, turn to the left. Now, as you turn to the right, you're going to bring your left foot on the floor so that your toes face the side, so that you can lift up. And start with your right foot on the ground beside your left. Fingers around your right big toe. Make this progressive, so balancing on the left foot, right foot off to the side, and back. Lengthen your spine, right foot higher, and back. Keep going, a little bit higher each time. Less pressure on your hand. Two more. Last one. and down. And then bring that foot up and around. So now you're going into half moon. Lifting the right leg up. Take your right arm, bring it around your back, and hook it maybe into your left hip. Keep your right foot as high as your hip. And then taking your hand on the front of your thigh as you lift, as you breathe. Find steadiness, ease. Lift your right foot maybe a little higher. Stay for 3, 4, 2. And then on 1, bring your feet together and bend your knees, lift your heels, sit down. Hands to your heart. Lengthen your spine and turn to the left. Bringing your hands down. Take this nice and slow. Turning towards the front of your mat. So keep your knees together as much as you can so that you're truly twisting, one step at a time. That might be enough. Otherwise, if your hands can be on the floor, shoulder distance and width, lean forward. And then maybe your feet lift up. And then bring your feet back down and have a seat. Let your feet be together and your hips move back. Go further and further. And then come down. Nice stretch. You can put your block underneath of your forehead if you want. We're going to just take maybe like 5 or 6 more breaths here. Okay, I'm going to grab a hold of your big toes. Actually, inch yourself up to the top of your mat. Just put your block off to the side. Grab onto your big toes, lean back, and extend your legs. Keep your spine straight. And then we're just going to go from side to side. So the left leg will go out and you can bend your right knee. And then inhale to center. To the other side. Center. One more time each side. Come back to center. Tuck and roll back. Happy baby. All right. So, from happy baby, release your toes, put your feet back down, and we're going to go up into a bridge or wheel. So touch the backs of your heels and lift your hips up. Press the front of the top of your knees forward. Let yourself come all the way up into wheel if it's in your practice and feels right. And then let yourself come back down all the way. Take a moment, just neutral. Let your knees fall to the right. Walk your shoulders towards the left. Creep, creep, creep over to the left. And either stay like this or bring your right foot on top of your thigh so that you can hold on to your foot. It actually feels good to put the block underneath of your right knee or your thigh if it's like floating. And then start to inch your way back, straighten out the left leg, keep your right knee bent. And just move into a twist, into supine twist. So your knee across your body, your right arm out. Now you can take it another step further if you want. You can bend your bottom leg, the left leg, and you can hold on to your foot with your right hand. And then you can extend your top leg by holding onto your big toe and extending the leg out if you want to go further. Now, as you come back up, keep your legs crossed. So the right leg is over top of your left. And either your hands are going to hold the front of your left knee, pull the knee in, or you can hold opposite foot. You want your knees to be together. No space between your thighs. So squeeze together. Yeah. And then eventually you're holding opposite foot. And so what this looks like, we'll go up to seated right away. So you come up, and now it's Gomakasana. So sitting with your legs. You can straighten out your bottom left leg if you need to. And then you just come forward. Block just brings the floor up if you need it. And then come upright. Legs out, hold your big toes, and lift them up. Spine straight. Knees can be bent to keep your spine straight. That's totally fine. And then go back. One more time, bridge or wheel. So put your feet down. And lift up. And then down. Don't do anything, just let yourself recalibrate. And now your knees drop to the left. Shoulders move to the right. And you can lift your left foot on top of your right leg. Going further, putting your block under your left knee if that feels right. And then inch yourself back. Straighten out the right leg and cross the left leg over for a supine. A twist. Twisting the other way. Bend your bottom knee with your left hand. You can hold on to your foot. And with your right hand, you can hold on to your left big toes. As you come up, keep the left leg crossed over and bring your knees towards your chest. Squeezing in. Possibly holding opposite foot with opposite hand. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, come forward. And forward. And the next pose is Shavasana. So you're practicing online. I'm going to let you just do your own rest, your own Shavasana. So thanks for practicing. Namaste.